I'm Brendan with Mills 24/7. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
What about this job is attractive to you? What are your thoughts about the Florida State program and I guess what it offers you for your career?
I grew up in South Florida, and quite honestly, my family is a Florida State family. I had a cousin that played safety here, and I don't know if there are like bigger Florida State fans in the world. My aunt, it was her birthday this summer, and I called her and I said, "Hey, aunt," her name's Catherine, Auntie Cat, and I said, "Happy birthday! I want to come see you." She was like, "Yeah, come on, baby. Love to see you. Just get here before the game starts." And the game is the Florida State game, whatever game it is. So it's just always been a place for me that's been intriguing, and when the opportunity presented itself, I was all in.
Ira, on your right side.
I had another question someone asked too.
Yeah.
But who was your cousin that played safety?
Shevin Smith. He has so he has a older brother named Al, and a younger brother named, we call him Pumpkin, and they will not let me forget about Florida State and Osceola, Renegade, everything. So it's been that way my whole life. So.
Now I wanted to ask you, you and Coach Knight, and obviously go back to your playing days.
Yeah.
What was your relationship back then, and how cool is it to be working with him 20 years later?
I mean, our relationship, has grown, but we've always been kind of tight. He was my roommate, and we kind of navigated college life together, and then we actually first started working together in Carolina for the Panthers, and then Nebraska, and then now here again. So it's always good to have some familiarity and a friend. It's good here.
Peter here, second one.
Hi, Coach. Peter Holland, Tallahassee Democrat, also South Florida guy.
Yes, sir.
I'm Mike Norvell making the coaching changes and being your Florida guy, and also adding Sertan and adding Coach Harris as well. How much he's really emphasized of getting more Florida guys and getting a chance to recruit more Florida guys to come here.
Getting to know Coach Norvell, he's more of find the right guys, find the right fit that mixed with the talent. Good guys for the locker room, and South Florida guys and Florida guys in general, they love football. So I believe if you love football and you're a pretty good person, Coach Norvell will be interested. So to put an emphasis on the entire country puts an emphasis on Florida recruiting in general. So it's just good to have that as our backyard.
Brendan?
Can you break down the different safety roles in the defense? I don't know what the names will be necessarily, but is it like what you're looking for skill set wise for each one?
I could be here all day doing
Okay.
it. Not that I have like this overwhelming knowledge of it. I have some knowledge of it, but it's pretty technical. But mostly, the guys have, we always want guys that can run, that can see, play well in space, track the football, tough guys, guys with deep zone experience. Some guys will have to play man at some point. We're pretty versatile, multiple in the back. So we got to have some guys that can actually play in space, I would say, probably the most important thing.
Ira?
Apologize, I was supposed to introduce myself. My name's Ira Schofel, warchant.com.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. I forget a lot of stuff too. It's all good.
What was it about Coach White that you liked working with him and were attracted to work with him again?
I mean, have you all met Coach White? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Coach White, a lot like Coach Norvell, like very enthusiastic, very much even keeled, same guy every day. I like that. I like to know what I'm getting into. I know for me, choosing a job is very, very important that people's ideals or what they beliefs align with what I believe in. And I believe you put the student athletes first. And we live in I work in a servitude profession. I like to serve those guys. I want to make sure that I'm putting those guys first and pushing them to be whatever they can be and trying to max out whatever God gave them. And I believe that's what Coach White stands for, and I believe that's what Coach Norvell stands for. So it's an easy transition for me.
Chris, here in the front row.
Chris Nee with Knowles 24/7.
Say that again, Chris Sneak?
Chris Nee
Neat, got it.
with Knowles 24/7. What have you learned about the defensive backs, specifically the safeties that are already here on the roster?
Oh, we have a lot of talented guys. You know, a lot of guys that can do a lot of things, and I'm excited to, you know, get my hands on them and get to try to figure out what exactly they can do and some of the things that they can't do, and just get on this journey of trying to improve every day. So I'm really looking forward to that. I met a couple of the guys. I like some of their personalities. I like some of their seriousness about the game of football and improving. I like how a bunch of them are off the field. A lot of like minds. So.
Liam, second one.
Hey, Coach, Liam Rooney from the Tallahassee Democrat. Talking about Florida State, there's a history, especially with the secondary, of a lot of great players coming through. Is that something that kind of excites you and maybe motivates you, especially coming off the season that they just had, to get those guys, you know, those names kind of etched in stone with some of the greats that have come through here?
Yeah. You know, honestly, I try not to look too far out ahead. Try to get, you know, I'm kind of narrowly focused. So I'm just gonna challenge the guys to get better every single day. But the exciting history is what it is, and there's a certain standard that we will have to live up to. And the only thing that I can promise is I'm working every day with the guys to get it to that. So, but like I said, it's a bunch of talented players that they could become household names in the near future. So definitely looking forward to that.
Kurt.
Hey, Coach. Kurt Weiler with the Osceola.
Yeah.
You talked a little about Coach Sertan. I guess what relationship as another South Florida guy, if any, did you have with him? And I guess what y'all talked about the combination of working together in the secondary.
Yeah. Am I doing well with my hands? My hands good? I think I'm gonna switch it. I'll go next. I mean, Coach is a legend, man. I used to watch Coach when he was with the Dolphins, and then I had the privilege to evaluate his son when I was the coach for the Carolina Panthers, and like, that guy's one of the best too. So he brings a wealth of knowledge. One of the coolest guys I've met, and I've known him. Like I don't know if we know each other, but I've known of him, and I've recruited his school a bunch. I'm really looking forward to picking his brain about the things that he's known. You know, his experience, you can't duplicate that. So just try to take what I can from him and add it to the group. And I'm looking forward. I'm excited about working with him.
Second row, Corey.
You mentioned Shevin. I don't know
Yeah.
how familiar. I assume you're very familiar with his story, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure he was a walk-on. that
He was.
came here, and it ended up being a starter and a star and
Yeah.
a draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Is that any way? I know that was we're looking at 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
Is there any way to like use him as an example to some of these guys that haven't really achieved much in college, but they can be really good and they can be draft picks if they just keep improving? Can you use him as an example?
Yeah, I mean, anytime somebody's had success, you know, I'm notorious for grabbing something from Kobe Bryant or some clip from the CEO from Google. I'm not sure, whatever. Those successful guys, I honestly don't think there's very much mystery behind being great. I think it's pretty black and white. I think it's 2 or 3 things that every successful person that I've been around, they share in common. And, you know, he actually played defensive end at Miami Southridge as a senior, and for him to make that transition and turn it into something, and he also graduated with an economics degree, so it was not, you know, there's no secret, just hard work, dedication, and almost an obsessive part to your craft. You know, that's the guys that I've been around. Like I said, like Stephon Gilmore, like he's exactly what you think he is off the field and in the meeting rooms and that kind of stuff. Christian McCaffrey and our very own Brian Burns, like those guys, they're great for a reason.
Ira.
You developed a reputation for, you know, recruiting, but also evaluating talent. And what you guys did at Baylor obviously spoke for itself. What are some of the things you look for as you're looking at prospects, whether from the portal or high school?
What kind of reputation did I develop? A good one or a bad one?
Good one.
Okay, good. Well, you know, without getting too technical, I like to find the guys that we like to say like they were hit with the stick. Like I can coach them. I don't know if I can make them faster. You know, we could build some muscle and some strength in the weight room, but I don't know if I can make them taller. It's just certain things that, you know, I can't provide for them. There are things that coaches can provide and make sure that they grow at, but the guys that could do things that other guys can't, I like to look at those guys. And some of those guys are not finished products, but I'm not really afraid of that challenge. Like I take it personal, if you will, not in a negative sense, just I take extreme ownership over developing players. So if guys can run and they're long and they got good hips and good ankles, and you know, the sky's kind of the limit, in my opinion.
Brendan?
Following up on that, you've been able to do evaluation both at the college level and then in the NFL as well. I guess any big differences in those two aspects, and how can the experience in the NFL help you, you know, in college now?
Yeah, when I first got back to college from the NFL, I had to make the quick, let's say, adjustment. So in the NFL, you look at 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 23-year-olds. Now with COVID, 24-year-olds, 25. Another subject. But those guys are like more mature. I mean, like not socially. I mean, their bodies, and they're pretty much, they are what they will be. In college, it's a blank canvas most of the time, coming from high school to college. I'll be more, you know, apt to or more willing to find raw guys, more raw. Is that a word, raw? Right?
Just
Yeah.
a good one.
Cool. More raw guys, more inexperienced guys, and try to teach them what I want them to know and what I want them to do, transitioning from high school to college. College to NFL is a little bit different just because of the time and the numbers, and there's not as much development. There is still development, but you know, you don't get a lot of good on good in the NFL. You most likely not doing the kind of things that we do on a daily basis here in college, game week, etc. Spring ball, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but they can be further away from being great football players in high school than in college.
You're gonna Aslan for the last one.
Aslan Javani, WorkChant.com,
Yeah.
On 3 Network. With recruiting being so important, for so long we heard about it's relationship based, but now there's other things obviously factored into recruiting. But what do you think is it about you personally, and maybe you along with Coach White, Coach Now, what have you guys kind of created to recruit so well? What is your kind of, I guess, your pitch to the players that seems to be so successful?
I actually don't know if I have a pitch. I'm just always myself. And a certain demographic, certain group of people kind of identify with that. You know, people, you know, I think as a society, we're getting smarter. Like the younger guys are more experienced at a lot. They know when you lie to them, and they can smell it a mile away. So I just try not to lie to them. And I don't promise anything that I can't give them. I can't promise them a starting spot. I don't know how things work. I wouldn't be disrespecting the guys that I have in my room, because those guys come first. But just the real conversations that I'm willing to have, and the honest opinions. I'm a relationship guy. You know, I have a wife and two kids, and I love them. And if I look at a player any different than I look at my son, then I think I'm a fraud if I'm saying I'm family. And that's what Coach Norvell's about. Family is family. That's not just a word that we throw around here. It's an action verb. So that's it for me.
Okay, thanks guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks.